Neptune at 29 degrees is like, I'm just gonna give in. Fuck the work. Nothing matters. And ultimately, maybe that's true, but based on what we study here in astrology, certain things matter.
Real, my nigga. Not low, God's son being the moniker. Putting beats and hearses, verses hot as the thermometer. You busting out the 808, measure like barometer. The honor the Lord face, this race we ride with Kamala. It's bigger than Democrats and all that. Know that melanin, feminine power is coming back.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of 𝐦𝐨𝐿 Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be discussing certain types of people you don't want to be like. And trust me, it'll help you spiritually. So, let's get into it. All right, so this video, we could say, is a continuation on the message from before regarding Saturn and spiritual integrity. Heavy on the spiritual integrity. So I want to start this video by saying that, I'm not here to tell anybody what's right or wrong. I share channeled messages based on my connection with the divine and my observations within life. And other people do it as well. I like my transmissions and how I view things, and I appreciate those of you who do as well and trust in that vision. It gives me encouragement and all of that. And at the end of the day, the fruits of our labor or the product of our work shows with the quality of our life. And in this arena, like the spirit, which it seeps into your life and how you feel. So with that said, and living this life that I live through my third eye, I observe a lot and I'm very aware of things. I want to point out to you certain types of people out there that you want to be aware of, and you want to be aware not to adopt these qualities, because we got to remember, with the internet and social media and all the sharing that we do, human beings are easily influenced creatures. Depending on how you're vibrating, what time of the day you're taking something in, you might be more suggestible or impressionable to it. These are just facts, okay? And I don't even need astrology to tell me that. That's a product of work that I've done outside of that and exploring life. So with that said, I want you to be aware of this, because this is a time, Neptune at 29 degrees, where the crazies are crazying. Those who are losing the battle or giving up on the battle, that's what I'm going to say. Like, this is a time where Neptune at 29 degrees is like, I'm just going to give in. Fuck the work. Nothing matters. And ultimately, maybe that's true, but based on what we study here in astrology, certain things matter. The universe is based on certain laws. Okay, I'm a believer of that. I heavily believe in free will. The first type of person you don't want to be like is someone who studies not just astrology, but like spirituality, the occult, because Saturn is involved in all. Someone who studies, projects this as a persona, may want to do readings for people. Someone who does all of this, but doesn't actually respect Saturn. And what do I mean by respect Saturn? Let's make it clear. This is not about fear. This goes back to integrity and understanding like what Saturn means, what part of the thing Saturn plays. When you really talk to certain individuals or you watch what they project, you'll get an understanding of how they think about the astrology. And that's the cool thing, is that I encourage everyone to have your own thoughts of the astrology, but there are certain parameters you got to respect because it flows a certain way. So when it comes on to Saturn, it comes back to this idea of integrity. And then next to that, integrity or learning of that comes with maturity. Maturity. So someone who respects Saturn has a layer of maturity, which is going to seep into then their moral compass. The more you expand in life, that could be through age, that could be within your particular truth, which then turns to a profession, the more your moral compass infects your integrity within that area. And then here's the real important thing about those who respect Saturn. And what happens when you do respect Saturn, you become a version of Saturn, which is your own authority. But the deeper part, where it really holds you accountable, is that you could try to be Jupiter and believe what you want, do what you want, but ultimately you'll never get the real results if Saturn is not being honored. That is through putting in the work. That is through having a plan, right? Making the shit concrete. So as simple as that. So really what I want to say here, though, is that there is a particular type of person that they're missing that from their spirituality, but they're trying to be engulfed within spirituality. If I can say some real shit to you, energetically, it's like being upside down, if I'm being real with you, or it's like trying to build something upside down, or something that has no concrete foundation. So that's why you don't want to be that person. And it also, it's like for a person like me that really gets the shit, hearing a person have all these opinions or thoughts about astrology, but seeing that they're neglecting the Saturn part of it, and it's showing, that doesn't look good. So you always want to be mindful of that, right? And we all do it in different ways. Chime in right now and comment. There are particular things that when you're learning your chart, I don't like what that said. I'm not paying attention to it. But if you stay on the journey and path long enough, you realize like, oh my God, I should have been paying attention to that from the beginning. I would say for most people, this is your Chiron position. This could be manifest in the sense of shying away from the North Node and being comfortable in the South Node, things of that nature. So you don't want to be that type of person, okay? Because it's like all talk, no substance, or just results, okay? And then furthermore, I can make a whole nother video about this with Saturn. You become an authority. Like I said, your boss, your own boss, that's like a boss of others, and then at a bigger level, like a CEO. I want to let y'all know, energetically, from what I'm continuously learning within life, that takes a particular focus. And mind you, this is outside of the physical. We're talking about in the astral here, to build like that. So put it like this. Anybody who is like the owner of a huge conglomerate has honored Saturn daily in their own way. Doesn't mean they're a saint, but they're honoring the Saturn energy by moving in a particular way. So that's some real food for thought for you. The next type of person that you don't want to be, that'll really help you spiritually, is someone who gets disconnected from their femininity. Now, the way my mind works, I can explain this for both, because there are going to be some that get disconnected from their masculinity. Kind of like a whole generation of boys, in a sense, right? That's why we got to do a good job of keeping it in place and pushing it further, so there isn't a complete loss of it. But for the sake of this video and what I see more are those who maybe unconsciously cut off from their femininity. I think a large portion of these people, you could check the numbers to make it more specific, but I think a large portion of people disconnected from their femininity are Trump supporters right now. I listen people. I listen to people, what they have to say, and I don't judge them. I just make observations. And it's a rather simple thing. When you get disconnected from your femininity, there's a loss of compassion, because there's a disconnect from the full range of emotion. There may be an overemphasis of particular types of emotion, low vibrational emotion, bitterness, apathy, jealousy. And this is not even an emotion, it's a mindset, but going in line with what I see from the Trump supporters, regardless of what color they are. I'll talk about this in another video. But some prejudice and racism to go along with it. When you are connected to the feminine energy, you're more of a protector, particularly if you have good masculine instincts in place. You're going to want to protect. You're going to have a sense of pride in not just your family, but your culture, your community. This is actually where America is spiritually, and has always been spiritually misaligned, because it's been division from day one. But when, like I said, when you are connected to your femininity in a healthy way, you are more compassionate. You see more of yourself in others. And I got to tell you, it's a beautiful way to live. For those of you who have made it this far in the video, I recently found out about this term and this kind of belief behind it. Feel free to let me know if any of you are aware of it and maybe even your thoughts on it. But it's called being a foundational Black American. And I could extend this to the next type of person you don't want to be, but I won't do that. I'll probably save it for another video. But this foundational Black American is a perspective that people are taking here to kind of divide out of the Black culture or separate themselves as people whose ancestors were directly affected and involved in slavery. And because I listen and I take a multiple perspective, I really see that at the root of it, the thing that draws the people into this perspective is feeling that other Black Americans who may be like Caribbean or African talking down about Black Americans. So there's a mindset developing that we should separate ourselves. We should become foundational Black Americans. I'm very interested to hear people's perspective on that. But for me personally, spiritually, that's an ass backwards perspective. Ass backwards. You can identify with it, cool, but it's ass backwards to me spiritually in the totality of things. Very ninth house. Very ninth house. But also a product of being cut off from your femininity. And if we really, like I said, if you do your knowledge on it and where it's coming from, it's just out of emotion, like over emphasizing and connecting to more negative or low vibrational emotion. So there's a lot more that can be said with this, but I'll leave it here. And you guys give me some feedback. Let me know how you enjoyed this. If you're interested in a reading with me, check out my website, GeminiBrown.com, my book, Astrology of the Matrix, as well as all my services that I offer. So, till next time, peace.